Hi, I'm Todd Jones, host of the podcast Press Box Access. Check out this clip from my talk with Bob Kravitz. Let's hear about the first time Kravitz met legendary college basketball coach Bobby Knight. Warning, you might not be able to unsee the moment. You once told me about the first time you ever met Bob Knight as a journalist. What was that like?
Yeah, I think it was my sophomore year, and they put me on IU Hoops with another guy, I think Tom Brew. And so his secretaries told me and Dan Barrero, who was working, I think, in Louisville at the time, told us to just wait for Coach Knight in his office. So we did. And about 10 minutes later, this very large naked man comes naked. Yeah, follow me, Todd.
I don't know if I want to.
Completely buck naked, walks out of the shower and plops himself down on a red Naugahyde type chair and just sits there. It's like, what the bleep do you want? So he was messing with me. I mean, he comes out there, he's buck naked. Okay. And I'm scared to death. And he's buck naked. And he's like, what the hell do you want? And actually, we had a pretty good discussion.
What did you talk about? You and Naked Bob.
Me and Naked Bob, we talked about access. And
I bet. Well, he's giving you plenty.
Yeah, he's got more access than I know what to do with. But we talked about access. It's funny. He told me, if you have something that you're writing that needs me and you need me, you feel free to come to me anytime. And don't worry if I get pissed off, because I don't want you to be a so-and-so like some of these other writers. You come to me and let's have a discussion. Well, about a month later, I wrote a piece that I needed a quote from him, and I went to talk to him, told him what I was writing about, and he went bananas.
Really?
He went bananas. I mean, I remember Isaiah Thomas was on the court laughing his behind off. I'm trying to keep my language good here, but
that's all right. It's all fair in the bar we're in. Don't worry about it.
Okay, good. He's laughing.
By the way, what was the story about that he was so upset about?
You know what I wrote was 1 year earlier, a couple of guys got kicked off the team for allegedly smoking marijuana at the Alaska shootout. Because what the hell else is there to do in Alaska?
Except be cold.
Except be cold. So, and I had talked to some of those players, and actually one of them was very thankful to Coach Knight for, setting him on the straight and narrow, yada, yada, yada.
Right.
The other one was kind of critical, and the third one I couldn't get a hold of. So I told Knight, I was doing this story, and he went crazy. And so the next game they were playing at Kentucky, and I'll never forget being in the press room before the game, and all the managers are looking at me and kind of whispering. And I'm thinking, what the hell is up? Well, after the game, I went to go into the locker room, and I got all these, young, Nazi youth are there at the door telling me, no, you're not allowed in. So basically for the next 3 years, I had no access to the Indiana basketball team except for press conferences, which were always interesting too, because Knight wouldn't answer any of my questions at press conferences. So I made sure to ask him at least one every press conference.
So he just would ignore you?
He would just say, next question. Yeah, it was, and you know what? It was a good growth experience, I think, because look, you get into this business, you're going to have those moments where you've got to stand up for yourself, and you've got to fight, and you've got to, you got to stand up for yourself. And so, in a way, dealing with Coach Knight helped me deal with certain people, Bill Polian and others later on down the road.
Yeah, I mean, I remember a similar incident for myself as a student journalist at the University of Kentucky. Some football players got into a fight with some frat guys, and we wrote a story about it in a student newspaper. And Jerry Claiborne was the football coach, and I remember being at practice. This is probably like 1986, and he starts from about 30 yards away, and he is just screaming at me. And he's walking towards me, and the whole team is watching this. And I just felt like, you remember when Fred Flintstone kept shrinking on the chair next to that giant carrot?
Yes.
I was Fred.
You were Fred, yes.
I was Fred. But looking back on it, you're right. I learned a lot. You learn that, there are times where if you're doing your job and you're accurate and you're fair, it's not going to make them happy all the time. And that's just part of the gig. You're going to have to learn how to deal with it. And it's not something that's easy, but, you had to, toughen your skin up at a young age. And you had it from Bob Knight.
Yeah, he helped a lot. And, when I do teach on occasion, college classes, we talk about the things you need, the qualities you need to be good at this. And I think fearlessness is one of the primary elements to do what we do well.